The foods you eat can be the most important tool you have in changing your metabolic health. Most of us grew up being taught the food pyramid, which looks something like this. This pyramid has since been replaced as scientific evidence evolved. The focus from dietitians is less on how many servings of what foods we should eat, and now on eating whole foods. Eating a diet that's rich in whole foods that are prepared in a healthy way is the foundation of good nutrition. We'll look at the differences between whole and minimally processed foods, ultra-processed foods, and processed foods. We won't be talking about calories, macronutrients, or micronutrients. Whole and minimally processed foods are close to their natural form and don't have added sugars, fats, flavorings, or artificial ingredients. Whole foods grow or come from something that grows. They include all food groups: fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, grains, dairy, and proteins. Whole foods don't have to be necessarily fresh or organic to count. Dried, canned, frozen, smoked, or pickled items can all be in the whole or minimally processed camp. Focus on food options that haven't had nutrients removed or chemicals added and are prepared in a healthy way. Any healthy food can be made unhealthy depending on how it's prepared. Many of the grocery items you buy, like sauces, dressings, dips, toppings, and flavorings, can dramatically reduce the quality of your whole food meal. Adding ingredients like spices, acid in the form of vinegar or citrus, or minimally processed products is great. Even adding your own sugar or salt, as long as you have an even hand, is fine. Just don't trust the food industry to do it for you. In contrast to whole foods, ultra-processed foods have long ingredient lists, contain unnatural flavors and colors, and come packaged in a way that makes them incredibly easy to eat. Ultra-processed foods are energy-dense and nutrient-poor. Ultra-processed foods are made with unnatural amounts of highly stimulating chemicals, especially sugar, fat, and salt, to get you to eat more and more and more. A recent study showed almost 60% of the calories Americans eat come from ultra-processed foods. So it's no coincidence that the rise in metabolic diseases in the country coincides with increased intake of ultra-processed foods. Examples of ultra-processed foods include sodas and energy drinks, chips, snack foods, ice cream, fast food, lots of frozen meals, instant noodles, instant oatmeal, sauces, energy bars, breakfast cereals, and flavored yogurt. And this list just scratches the surface. Somewhere between whole foods and ultra-processed foods lies a huge gray area of processed foods. While whole foods and ultra-processed foods are easy to pick out of a lineup, the waters kind of get murky with processed foods. Cutting up some fruit or veggies or peeling an egg is processing. Thus, it can be hard to figure out what good processed food is versus bad processed food. For example, salsa can be made with whole food ingredients and spices, tasty and nutritious. Yet salsa can also be highly processed with little nutritional value and lots of additives. Common sense can get you part of the way there, but when it comes to food processing, you still need to be careful with your choices. The food industry is sneaky when it comes to making unhealthy foods appear healthy. Increasing the amount of whole foods in your diet is your first goal, while limiting, or better yet, eliminating, ultra-processed foods from your diet is a close second. When it comes to the middle ground of processed foods, the secret is to be mindful in your choices. Eating whole and minimally processed food is the path to better health. Now, does that mean you can never have a treat? Of course not. It's just that many people have become used to almost everything they eat being a treat. A nightly bowl of ice cream after dinner isn't a treat, it's a routine. Now, for most, having an occasional dessert isn't a problem, especially if it's homemade. However, anyone with metabolic health issues should talk with a health provider to clarify what's okay and what to avoid.